Well, we're going to be making another pumpkin beer. I don't even know what the other one's going to taste like until I start to bottle it, but since I'm doing an experiment where I'm comparing whether it's better to add pumpkin to the boil or to the mash, then I'm going to have to keep the recipe the same so I can compare it side by side. So even if the other one doesn't turn out as good as I want to, I'm still going to make the beer using the same recipe so that it's a good comparison. So the recipe, same exact as last time, 9 pounds of American 2-row, 1 pound and a quarter of Munich. I'm using half a pound of American wheat, and then I'm using a quarter pound of Crystal 40. Same hops, Cascade, probably not what I should be using for this recipe, but that's what I had when I made the other one. And then spices the same, nutmeg, ground allspice, pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, and 2 pumpkins. These 2 pumpkins combined weigh about 4.5 pounds. So that's it.
Begin by cutting your pumpkin in half. Then start scooping out all of your seeds from the pumpkin. Take a cooking sheet, place aluminum foil over it, and then place your pumpkin over it. In a preheated oven at 300 degrees, place your pumpkin and bake for 2 hours. When you're done baking, remove the pumpkin from the oven, do a pumpkin flip, and begin scooping out all of the pulp from your pumpkin. When you're done collecting all of your pulp, drop your grains into your mash tun, and then begin throwing in the pumpkin over the mash. Don't worry about mixing this in just yet. Bring the temperature of your mash to 134 degrees at a ratio of 1 quart of water per pound of grain. You're going to leave this resting for about 20 minutes. You may want to do any water adjustments as necessary at this point. Once you're done resting, bring the temperature of your mash to 156 degrees at a ratio of 1 3/4 quarts of water per pound of grain. Make sure you stir to get any hot spots out of the way. And after 60 minutes of mashing, begin collecting wort in a jar and recirculate until you see that your runnings are clear. When your runnings are clear, begin lautering and sparging. Once you're done collecting all of your wort, then you're going to want to bring that to a boil. We're going to be boiling this for 90 minutes. So you want to make any water adjustments as necessary about this point, and when you have 60 minutes left in the boil, add your bittering hops. When you have 15 minutes left in the boil, add your aroma hops. And when you have 5 minutes left in the boil, you're going to add all of your spices. Once you're done boiling, turn off the heat and bring your wort into a whirlpool. Cool down your wort, and once you are at yeast pitching temperature, begin transferring your wort into your fermenter. I use a strainer to aerate my wort. It has worked really well for me. Now for my yeast, as I was boiling and lautering, I poured some water into my old fermenter and I gave it a little swirl to mix everything, and then I started to just throw everything into a glass jar, and I left it sitting there until I saw some layers start to develop. You can see the beer, the yeast in the middle, and then all the trub at the bottom. Once that's settled, I begin transferring everything into smaller size pint jars and basically left those sitting the same so I can see my layers develop. I got beer on top and the yeast basically compacted at the bottom. So I pour out as much of the beer as possible and leave only enough to be able to swirl the yeast and get it out of the jar. And I pitch my yeast from my old pumpkin ale. Begin fermenting this beer at 66 degrees. When your airlock starts bubbling, start to increase the temperature 2 degrees at a time every 24 hours. So move up to 68 degrees, 24 hours later move up to 70 degrees, then 72 degrees. You'll see airlock activity increase a little bit, and then you're gonna end up at 74 degrees. Then slowly bring the temperature down to 60 degrees to cold condition the beer for a week or two. Stay tuned for the tasting of the beer and see how this came out. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video.
Like,
Just randomly combine caramel, malt, hops, and you're fine.
let's do it.
All right, that's that.
We'll see. We're missing two.